Some wisdom is found on the surface, and some wisdom takes us deeper. Welcome to Get Deep, where we dive into the thoughts, truths, and affirmations that help us grow, reflect, and move forward. I'm Deborah D.E.E.P, Mouton, and every episode we'll explore the power of words, the strength of resilience, and the beauty of introspection. Come in, take a seat, and let's get deep. I met my husband at the lowest point of my life. I had been through a personal journey that took me to a valley I did not know how to climb out of. I was recently diagnosed with Crohn's disease and had undergone 2 blood transfusions that left me on 13 pills a day just to maintain my health. I bled out in a friend's bathroom and had to be rushed to the emergency room. I remember laying there and them saying blood transfusion over me in this distant voice that seemed like I was out of my body. And no one was there to hold me or to keep me. My family, thousands of miles away, and no real family in Houston. I remember wondering if this was going to be the end of me, if there would be no one else to bear witness to who I was or to testify who I had been to them. If this moment, this singular seconds, would be the last ones I spent breathing. I emerged from that, wanting it to be this new lease on life, but just completely shrouded in the fear that I was going to end up back in the hospital again. So when I met my husband, I was teaching at an after-school program where he was already employed. I didn't know him, and I wandered in the first day just wanting to hold it all together. I'd gotten through the interview with jokes and quips that kept me alive and moving and made them believe that I was a sane and sound person. But the first day of work, all of my imposter syndrome said that it was going to speak loud and clear and everyone would know how broken I was. It came lunchtime and I wandered over to the meal that they had prepared for us, these small cucumber-like sandwiches. And at the time I was a vegetarian, so I remember trying to fish through which ones I would actually be able to eat. I was still eating fish at the time, so I looked for a tuna sandwich or something that I could just bite long enough to keep my strength. My husband slid up beside me, pointing to one saying he thought it was tuna. And I gathered them, nibbling, only for him to mention a few moments later, "No, I'm pretty sure that's chicken." To which I didn't know whether to be disgusted or irritated with this guy who just kept poking at me. But I think he saw somewhere in me that I needed a friend. And over the next few months, he became that. Someone who would come and grab me when I wandered off in daydreaming too much, or would sit next to me in the gym and just make jokes long enough to remind me that my arms were still healing and that I was becoming a better person. I didn't know then that I would love him, that I would carry his children, or that I would become his partner for life. Until this one day, we decided to go to a close by Randall's because they used to serve the hot soup that we could get in our lunchtime really quickly. And I had a few things that I needed to pick up, so I decided to take the time on my lunch break to do some small shopping. He followed me around as I pushed around the cart, stacking small things that I knew wouldn't go bad as I had to finish my shift afterwards. And then, when we turned into the freezer section, something in my body just rebelled. I remember these stabbing pains spreading from my midsection up through my body, buckling me over. And there was nothing I could do but to sit on the freezer section floor in the fetal position, rocking like a maniac. I thought he would see me as being crazy, as unstable. I mean, who wants to stand in the freezer section next to someone writhing on the floor? All while people watched around us. But instead, he did something that I will never forget. He sat down next to me. And as people approached us to see what was wrong, he ushered them away saying, "She'll be fine. She just needs a little time." Time he was willing to spend sitting next to me on the cold floor. When the moment passed, I gathered myself ashamed and stood up knowing this would be the last moment he wanted to spend with me. But instead, he took the cart and he pushed it beside me, holding my arm. He showed me that loving people doesn't mean that it happens when it's convenient or when it's easy. It doesn't mean loving the most polished and best versions of themselves, but love is seeing someone wrecked and not at their best, to see someone at their lowest and find a value in them. Love is the bravest thing you can do. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope this moment of reflection stays with you, guides you, and reminds you to keep going. If you found value in this episode, let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at Live Life Deep and share your thoughts, your wisdom, and your light. And if you're enjoying the podcast, the best way to support it is simple. Subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your support helps others find this space of growth and inspiration. This has been a Gemini's production. You can explore some of the other podcasts on the network by going to GeminisProductions.com or following on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube at Gemini's Productions. Until next time, remember, you've been given today. What you do with it is up to you.